Bumbo clap piece. I say, what me do? I'm going to my yard, man. Fuck down up. Oh, what me do? I'm going to my yard.
Hold on, let me touch you here.
Blood.
They love to talk about God.
Okay, so y'all just saw that video right there, and this video literally encompasses why I have said time and time again why the NYPD is one of the most corrupt police departments in the establishment. Now, this video has gone viral, and it was actually posted on Saturday, and that's how people got wind of it. I believe it was viewed over 1 million times on social media. I always say when something gets put on social media and for public consumption, it's out there forever. So basically what happened is you have this 19-year-old by the name of Adrian Napier, who you can see in this thumbnail right here in this picture, where he's sitting down, he has his hands up, and then out of nowhere he gets swarmed by these damn MTA cops, like SWAT was coming to beat down his door, and literally tackled this man as if they was on the football field. Now, you're probably sitting there wondering, in case you haven't heard the story so far, what in the hell could he have possibly done for them to come after him the way that they did? Well, this guy did not rob anybody, at least in the sense that you would think. He didn't commit an armed robbery. He didn't murder anybody. He didn't rape anyone. He didn't kidnap anyone. Nothing to warrant this kind of pressure from them. This guy, this 19-year-old, was swarmed by these damn cops because of fare breaking. Basically, he did not pay his fare to get on the train that day. Before I go into how much the fare costs, do you know how many people don't do that and they'll never get ran up like this ever? Now, where I live at in the Metro line, there's cameras. If people get by and they do not pay their fare at a certain particular stop I get off to go to work, the elevator right there has 3 levels. If they can catch you on that camera, it'll stop on that middle level, and they will have security greeted there waiting to get the person off of the elevator. And they usually don't have to sift through anybody if it's a crowded elevator to find out who it was, because the cameras pick it up and they'll be able to point them out immediately. And nothing really happens. The person usually cooperates and they get off the elevator. And that'll be it. And it just keeps going up until we get to the level we need to be on. But guess how much his fare cost? $2.75. They did all of that to this man for $2.75. Do you know how much the metro industry in New York makes every year? New York, mind you, is one of the busiest places on earth. It's called the city that never sleeps for a reason. Their metro system is one of the busiest metro systems in the world. Not just the establishment, but the world. So that means because not only because it's a busy place where people are working downtown, but it's a big tourist attraction. So you're attracting people who work there, or people who come to go maybe shop there, and people who are tourists there. It's a busy metro system, which means they make millions and probably close to billions of dollars every year. And they got that irate over one person who did not pay $2.75. Somebody please make it make sense. Now, you were looking at the video and you were wondering why the people started to scatter when they in the video. Reason being is because when those cops got wind that Adrian Napier was on that train in that car, they pulled out their guns and they pointed it at the window where the people were at. So that's why the people ran, because they were scared that they were going to get shot. That shows you how reckless they are. They didn't care if those people got shot. They were going to get their man as far as they were concerned. And those people got scared to death that they were going to get shot. So that's why they scattered like roaches when they saw those guns being pointed. So when that door flew open, they ran in there. And you would think that the way that they tackled this guy, that he was on America's Most Wanted list. I'm almost inclined to want to go on Google and see if his name pops up on the damn list. But no, it's because he didn't pay his fare. Then they tried to say that he had a gun on him. You know, they have to always escalate it to the next level. They tried to say he had a gun on him, which came out that he definitely did not have a weapon on him. It's just they got him for fare breaking. Now, you have lamestream media and palm-colored folks will always say, well, if black people do what they're told and they don't resist and they cooperate, then the police won't harm them. This guy had his hands up. He didn't try to run. He was not armed. But they came and tackled him as if he was armed with a military-style weapon. Meanwhile, you have palm-colored folks running around in Virginia butt naked, killing people. And the palm-colored cops are running away from them while they are holding a military-style weapon. And I bet you they won't pop one in their ass, but you allow them to run around butt naked and then terrorize people, kill two people, and then terrorize somebody else before you decide to take him down. And then you just had one cop in Georgia that was pretty much cleared of all charges when he killed that black man who was butt naked and had a mental illness, and he used the line he feared for his life. Somebody, again, I say, make it make sense. And I'm saying that in a rhetorical way because y'all already know where I'm going, like what angle I'm coming from with this for. Now you're gonna have palm color folks saying, well, he should have just paid his fare and he should have just did this. Listen, don't listen to palm color folks. They are not the moral compass whatsoever by any means. Considering their assorted and dark history, they are the last people to ever fix their mouths, to ever say anything about morality, especially when it comes to us. They can shut their mouths. I hope that this guy gets a huge lawsuit against not only the NYPD, but also against MTA, which is the metro system in New York, the subway system, because I know they call it subway. I hope he brings up a huge lawsuit against them both because they were both reckless with this. Now, granted, if they were calling because he broke his fare, then that's one thing and that's proper protocol. But those cops that were down there, I think they said they were MTA cops. It shows that they still are operated like they are the NYPD. They might as well be employed by them if they aren't already. Now, I was reading through the comment section, not for this video, but from another place. Well, it was about this video, but it was in another source, where somebody said that Cynthia Nixon, if y'all don't know who that is, she's the actress she was one of the actresses who used to be on that show Sex and the City. She was running for some kind of political seat there as a Democrat in New York. And one of the things she said that she wanted to abolish was arrest for petty crimes. This would be considered a petty crime. Do you know how many white liberals opposed that? That's why I keep saying left wing, right wing, Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative. They are all attached to the same bird. And this was a white woman that was like proposing this. And they said for the most part, most of them opposed it, and they were so-called liberals. But you know what it also is? Many of them on both sides of the spectrum are still operating under the Rudy Giuliani spectrum, which is the stop and frisk. Rudy Giuliani was the one, when he was the mayor of New York back in the 90s, he was the one that implemented the stop and frisk. And that mainly affected black people, specifically black men. It was some Hispanics in there because they threw them into the category with us. Anybody that they considered to not be white. And if you were Asian, they kind of overlooked y'all too. I wouldn't be surprised if they did get some of them, but their main targets were black and Hispanic men, especially if they lived in a certain area. But they still, like I said, he's not the mayor anymore, but his legacy still carries on and it still rings true throughout the state of New York and the New York police departments. It is unfortunate what happened to this guy right here. It really is. It's unfortunate. Like, all types of atrocities like this are unfortunate. But one thing I will say is this guy, fortunately, is still alive, because they could have easily blew his brains out right there on that train if they wanted to. And they look like they wanted to. Because like I said, they cannot help and they cannot resist putting their hands on a black body, no matter what the age or what the circumstance is. $2.75. If it was like, all they had to do, if it was an issue, was give him a fine and say, if he did it again, you can't ride the metro anymore or the subway anymore. That's it. Like I said, looking at that video, you would have thought that he committed a huge felony level crime. Meanwhile, you have all these other people around here getting slaps on the wrist, taps on the hands, and getting handled with kid gloves. And they commit some of the most heinous crimes. I wonder how they dealt with that guy up in Canada who was the incel and got mad because people was having sex and he couldn't. A virgin at damn near 30, and he says, you know what, I'm just going to plow my car through anybody who I think has lost their virginity or is having sex, is sexually active. I don't think they dealt with him like that. I just told you about the guy in Virginia. They definitely didn't deal with him like that. Dylan Roof. I can keep naming names. I can keep going down the list. But this guy didn't harm anybody. He wasn't being verbally abusive. He was being cooperative. Everything that they say that we aren't. And he still got dealt with as if he was the aggressor. Because, see, in their eyes, black people are these superhumans. We're super Negro. If they don't get a grasp on us, then we're gonna blow a hole in the earth. Because apparently they must see us as Superman. We can fly at the speed of a bullet. We're like men and women of steel. We can dodge whatever. But that was a narrative that they put back in history where they said we didn't feel pain. Why do you think when they did the Tuskegee experiment and the gynecology experiments, and I know it wasn't called that, but you know what I'm going through, what I'm saying, they didn't give us any type of shot to ease the pain. We had to deal with it because they said we didn't feel pain. And they ran with that ever since. So whenever they see this black skin, they see undeniable strength. Now that can be seen as two ways. One, the melanin does hold a certain level of strength to it, especially when it comes to that sun. But at the same time, we're still human beings. We feel pain. We still bleed. We still bruise. But it also goes into the narrative of the big black boogeyman. When they saw him, they didn't see a regular 19-year-old. They saw the goddamn Incredible Hulk. That's what they saw. Better yet, they probably saw Black Panther. Like I said, they saw Superman. And because they have implemented their inferiority complex, like I tell you, this is an inferiority complex that's kicking in here. That just shows their weakness. They couldn't even take one of them to take down him, even though he wasn't fighting back. It took a whole horde of them to take down one guy. That shows how weak they are. They throw on that badge, they throw on that gun, that nightstick, that taser, and they feel like they are the superhero. They always gotta implement and act like they on fucking Dukes of Hazards and Chips and or any of those super cop shows that came on back in the day. Yeah, I know I'm only 30, but I'm very familiar with those shows. That's all they see. Or they watch one too many episodes of Law and Order and think that's what it is. And ironically, Law and Order takes place in New York, where this happened at. But that's really all it boils down to. They see the superiority in our melanin, but they also see the inferiority within themselves. Even when they have that gun at their hip, they are still weak. I mean, like I said, for all of them to take down one guy, come on now. And I'm looking at the guy in the picture and he looks like small in frame. He wasn't this big muscular bodybuilder type of guy. They must have thought he was Tukey Williams. Or that's what they saw. Like I said, and they came in with aggression. If you look at the video and look at their faces, they were red in the face. Like I said, you would have thought this guy committed a very, very, very extremely deadly crime. But his only crime was fare breaking and not paying $2.75 to ride the train. That's it. And I already told you what his punishment should have been. Maybe just a fine. And if he did it again, he can't ride the train no more. That's it. Not what they did right here. That was overboard. That was extremely excessive. And they would never, ever, ever do that with a palm-colored person. And if they do, it's very few and very far in between. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and I will talk to you in the next one.